Can you name a blue chip company that doesn't have a budget? Don't spend too much time thinking about it, because there aren't any. Successful businesses around the world have one thing in common: they budget their money, and they do it because it works. For many people, budgeting is more crucial than ever before, with household budgets squeezed as a result of the cost of living crisis, and everything from rent and mortgage payments, food, shopping, energy bills and petrol prices increasing. A budget can be an essential part of managing your money. When done correctly, a budget is a very precise tool for analysing your finances. It answers two key questions. 1. Do I spend more than I earn? An instinctive assessment is easy. If you're eating up your savings or building up debts, you're likely to be overspending. Yet, before you can address this, it's important to get an accurate idea of the size and scale of the problem. Major overspending can lead to a debt spiral and severe problems. That's why doing a budget can give you a definitive assessment of your finances. Number 2, what can I afford to spend? Once you know where you're spending, you can start to alter and prioritise what you do with your money to enable you to stick within your means. You'll better understand whether you could be putting money aside into a savings account to save for a big purchase, for example, or whether you need a plan in place to deal with debt. While having a budget can assist in working out how to prioritise within your means, the real difficulty is sticking to it. If you're one of the non-budgeters or sketchy budgeters, let me show you how to get a better idea of how you spend your money by putting together and sticking to a personal budget. Firstly, get over the terminology. Part of the Western world's aversion to budgeting may be rooted in the language. The word budget, much like the word diet, has negative connotations. Budgets and diets are viewed as a restrictive reminder of things we cannot have. This is linguistic nonsense. A budget and a diet are both tools. If the tools are used properly, they lead to a desired outcome. Nobody dislikes the word shovel, even though the use of the shovel requires effort. People use a shovel to dig a hole, they use a diet to develop a healthy body, and they use a budget to develop a fiscally responsible lifestyle. If it makes you feel better about the process, drop the word budget and call it a spending plan. Instead of viewing the plan as restrictive, think about the things it allows you to buy. After all, a budget is nothing more than a plan for how you will spend your money. Secondly, start with your bills. Many people complain that they can't create a budget because they don't know exactly how much money they will earn in a given week. While it's true that workers earning an hourly wage or working on commission might not get the exact same figure in each paycheck, the amount that you earn has much less to do with the basics of budgeting than the amount you spend. Instead of focusing on whether you earn enough each month, focus on your monthly spending. The question is simple: where does your money go? Regardless of how much you earn or when you earn it, everybody has fixed expenses, such as the following: mortgage payments or rent, transportation, such as car payment, fuel, train or bus pass, etc., utilities, food, insurance, and healthcare, such as a gym membership. Once you have the fixed expenses covered, it's time to plan for the variables, such as the following: birthdays, holidays, pet care, a haircut, clothes, vacations, and entertainment. These items are listed as variables for two reasons. The first reason is that these expenses vary from month to month. The second is that if you don't have the money to cover these expenses, the expenses can be reduced or eliminated without too much difficulty. For example, if you're out of money, the entertainment budget takes a hit, and you stay at home on a Friday night, or you don't buy those new shoes that you've been considering. Part of taking control of your money is learning how to exercise some discipline in your spending habits. Next, look at your income. Now it's time to take the theoretical aspects of budgeting and apply them to your life. Take a look at your monthly income. How much are you bringing in on your worst month? Compare that number to the amount that you're spending. Ideally, the income is larger than the output. If so, it's time for a personal savings plan. In other words, don't spend everything you earn. Save some for yourself. If you're spending more than you're earning, it's time to review your spending habits. When the expenditures are larger than the income, you have two choices. You either increase your income or you focus on cutting your expenses. Strategies to increase your income include getting a new higher paying job, getting a second job, or even finding a roommate to help you with expenses. Strategies to cut your expenses include eliminating impulse buys, which are a major expense for most people, and cutting out planned but unnecessary expenses. Keep in mind that simply cutting out that £3 cappuccino every morning can save you around £90 a month. I talk about the actual cost of a coffee in detail in another video of mine, which you can find in the link above. The concept is quite simple. If it's not in your spending plan, don't buy it. Finally, create your spending plan. Nearly everyone wishes for more money at some point. That said, all but the wealthiest among us are essentially living on a fixed income. In other words, you bring in a certain amount of money each month, and when it's gone, it's gone. Accepting that reality is key to living a happier and wealthier life. Keep in mind that your creditors don't work for free, so spending money that you don't have is also incredibly expensive. Fortunately, getting your finances on track isn't that difficult. Whilst there are software programs and spreadsheets designed to make the budgeting process faster and easier, all you really need is a piece of paper, a pen, and the desire to live within, or even below, your means. As a general rule, you should plan to set aside enough money to cover at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in case of an emergency. Once that money is put away, you won't need to rely on your credit cards should you lose your job or experience unforeseen expenses. Like every other recurrent item in your budget, the emergency fund is something you fund once and leave until you need at a time of emergency. So what's the bottom line? Despite its negative connotations, a budget is really just a tool that you can work to put your personal finances on the right track. If the most successful multi-million-dollar companies must budget their spending, it makes sense that a typical household should also have control of its expenses in a similar way. Budgeting your money need not be seen as a chore. After all, accepting the limits of your income is the best way to take control of your spending, live within your means, and ultimately reach your financial goals. Oh, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more content from myself and this channel. And again, thanks for watching.